What dates of the year are your favorites? Are they Christmas, Easter, your birthday? For me, it's 9/11. I was born on September 11th, 2000. It goes without saying that September 11th is one of the most important dates in American history. Without the September 11th attacks, our nation and our world would be unrecognizable from what they are today. When I was told my topic for this speech would be to pick something of importance that goes with the date I was born, it was easy to pick a topic. 9/11 is one of the greatest attacks on our nation and maybe even in the history of the world. On 9/11, 2001, the World Trade Center in New York was attacked. Hijackers overtook planes and flew them into the World Trade Center towers. At 8:45 a.m., the world was changed forever. 20,000 gallons of jet fuel was shot into the building in a giant explosion from those planes. The rest of the complex and the surrounding area of the World Trade Center were also affected. The planes crashed into the middle of the towers, blowing up part of the building and trapping people inside. Within an hour and 40-some minutes of the planes hitting, the towers would collapse. The attacks on the World Trade Center were not the only attacks on our country that day. The Pentagon was also attacked. Another group of hijackers took over control of a plane and flew it into the Pentagon. There was also another plane, Flight 93. Flight 93 is a great story in and of itself, but I don't have time to get to that today. One of my favorite quotes from it, though, is from Todd Beamer. "Are you guys ready? Let's roll." Those were the last words that his wife heard over the phone before they took the cabin. Brave American citizens crashed that plane into the ground to save countless lives. We don't know what the target of that plane was. It could have been the White House, it could have been the Capitol building, or anywhere else important in our country. It doesn't matter. The point is, heroic Americans like them are part of this great story of 9/11 attacks, and they show the heroism and patriotism that our citizens displayed on those attacks. Now, the perpetrators of these attacks were Al-Qaeda, led by Osama bin Laden. 19 terrorists with box cutters and knives took control of four planes, four giant missiles filled to the brim with jet fuel. They were flying from New York to California, but that would not be their final destination that day. Of those four planes, there was 19 men, 19 terrorists who took control. In groups of 5 and one group of 4, they subdued the passengers, took out the pilots, and took control of those planes. 2 of them landed at the World Trade Center, one of them landed in the Pentagon, and one of them landed in a field outside of Pennsylvania. According to History.com, 2,996 people were killed that day. 2,996 Americans died on 9/11. Now, the effect on our country from this attack was huge. Bush responded by grounding all the flights and providing a speech later that night. Everyone was shocked when they saw the news that day. Everyone knows where they were that day. Everyone paused because the world was changed that day. The war on terror was started. We went to war in Afghanistan looking for the terrorists responsible who did this to our great country. In post-9/11 America, paranoia, anxiety, and fear of terror are what those terrorists hoped to instill in us, but they received a harsh awakening. Americans didn't buckle down. We fought back. We found justice for those lives that were lost that day. For those 40 passengers, according to CNN.com, who were brought down a plane in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, for those 2,996 brave Americans who died that day when they were just going to work. Post 9/11 America is the America that I grew up in, the America that my generation grew up in. We don't know what it was like before these attacks, but we do know the importance of them. 9/11 certainly marks a turning point in our country's history, and without it, the world we know would be completely unrecognizable. 9/11 is one of the most important dates in our country's history, and without it, our reality would be incredibly different from the one we know today. Now, 9/11 is a very important date, and I've grown up in the history after it. I don't know what life was like before the September 11th attacks, but I know that those same attacks that destroyed the steel foundations of the Twin Towers laid the foundation of the world we all live in.